Hey, welcome back to Miss Maddie's studio. I'm Maddie, and today we are going to be painting a really simple painting with a bunch of stylized roses. Here's my basic sketch for it, just really simple, bunch of roses and some rose petals on a solid color background. I decided to go with a nice sky blue, and of course Chucky has to be right here hanging out, checking it out. I decided to erase all of the graphite that I can, just so it doesn't smudge. I find that graphite smudges a lot with the acrylic paint, and then sometimes you can still see it through the paint because I use a pretty inexpensive one, which is fine. It works lovely. So now we are all clear to go and put down a really pretty light blue. I think this color is super pretty. It is actually the same color that I use for the background color of my nephew's stylized portrait in my older video. And of course Chucky has to get too close, and I don't know why he thinks painting is so neat. He just wants to be right there for it. He's a good funny pup. He actually just got a bath, so he's sitting here looking like a drowned rat at the moment. Done with this. I'm doing a larger canvas than I typically do, but I'm trying to build myself up to bigger and bigger canvases. I have one that I've been putting off. Oh yeah, I realized that my brush just barely fit in there, so that was silly of me. I had to put it on my palette instead. But I have this really big canvas that is like 20 by 12 or something like that, or 24 by 12, something like that. It's huge. I got it specifically to fill a space in my wall that is right above my shelves, but I've been putting off doing my design for it because it's really big and it's intimidating, and I have a lot of smaller ones that I can do right now, so I'm just trying to build myself up to it. And I wanted to have all of the edges be nice and blue too. I wanted to bring that down to the side, so that's what I've been doing in the video right now, getting those sides. I believe this is the last one, which this is the easiest way to paint the sides. Oh, there's Trixie in the background, pretty girl. But I made a mess. Luckily, that table's sole purpose is for me to paint on, so now it's nice and evenly blue. Oh, apparently I needed to touch up spots still. Couple spots here and there. Looked even from this angle. I really wanted it to be a really solid color, so I was being very careful to make it very solid. Now, I decided just to do some neon pink and some purple for the base of the roses. I didn't end up liking how the neon pink interacted with the blue underneath. I didn't really like it. And now it's out of frame. Good job. Jeez, Maddie. This was actually really early on in my filming still with this beginning bit because I ended up putting this project aside for a really long time, but I finished it. I came back and finished it eventually. Now I was deciding, like, right now I just did not like this color, and I end up picking another pink to go over it with, but it's good placeholders for now. Just cleaning up my brush. Now we go in with the purple, which I love this purple. It is the purple of the background of one of my niece's portraits that I did. And this was the first time that I had used this purple, and it's just such a pretty lavender color. And now it's sat for like a month, and I'm finally starting over. I had this idea where I really wanted to have these blendy, pretty petals, but I'd never done that before. I just saw it done from other artists. So this first one is really me figuring out how I want to do that. And as you can see, I've picked different purple colors. I wanted different pink colors, and I really like how it comes out eventually. I play around with it for a while, and I'm satisfied with that. I also go over it with some bright bold lines to really flesh out where the petals are and all of that. That's when it really comes together. Right now I'm just having fun making it blendy, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed this part of it. It was really fun. Sometimes that is the most fun, when it's just messy and you're trying things out and you're not super committed to any one idea. You're just having fun with it, making a mess. It's always when I have the most fun. Now all the pinks are done, and now we get to go in with the purples, which I used a dark purple, and then I used the same purple as the base to blend, which I just decided it'd be easier to blob out the dark first, which actually did make it a bit easier, especially because this acrylic paint, it doesn't dry super quickly, so I'm blobbing it on out. Also, for some reason, I didn't use my palette for the paint. I just kept dipping it into the paint, which was awfully silly. I don't know why I did that. I ended up having to clean it up afterwards and get like all the purple and pink out of my white. This is when I go in and start making petals. Trying to be super light with them, but I needed maybe a thinner brush for that. I also struggled because some of the petals were bigger than I meant for them to be, so then I thought like some of them would look better as littler roses instead. I kept going back and forth on that with some of them. I also decided in a couple of my videos, I do sing a lot with my, like, while I'm creating art, I sing most of the time, or I'm watching like RuPaul's Drag Race or Law and Order SVU or a cooking show. That's about it. Like Chopped. I love Chopped. But when I do sing, I decided I am going to add little clippets of it, and I hope you guys enjoy that. That will be coming up pretty soon. But for now, we're gonna keep outlining the little petals. I really like how these came out with the wavy petals. I love drawing roses. I love drawing flowers in general, but roses are really fun to draw. They're one of those things that they seem really complicated, but it's not. You just draw a bunch of squiggly lines around a slightly squiggly circle center, and if you do enough of that, they look like a rose. Or a head of lettuce, I guess.
We can't be friends, but I'd like to just pretend. You cling to your papers and pens. Wait until you like me again. Wait for your love.
So that was We Can't Be Friends by Ariana Grande. I love that song. It's such a sad song, and music video made me cry the first time I watched it. And I do love that song a lot. I love singing high notes is one of my favorite things to do. Oh, so that's one of the petals that turned into a whole flower, because I made it way too big, and then I realized I could make it look like a flower more on its side. But then this one I just decided to have as a really big flower petal, because why not? This is a little live time. This is how slow I was doing it. I guess it's not that slow, it just feels slow in comparison to everything else that's sped up like 5 or 6 times just to make it so the video is not super long. This video is already going to be a long one because it was a bigger piece that had a lot of parts to it. I believe I do this whole flower in live time so you can see how long one of the bigger ones take. And I think this one or the biggest purple one might be my favorite. I was really trying to include the different sweeping motions that were created when I was blending out the colors for the petals. I tried to like capture them in the petals. I think I did the best job with those two, though. And like, I really like that one petal that's closer to the middle of this one that has most of the white in it. I think that one, it just looks really nice. I've been really pushing myself to draw and paint more nature things because I've always steered away from that in the past, thinking that it was something that I'm not very good at. I've had a lot more success when I draw characters, and I have a lot more fun drawing characters, but I want to be better at things like backgrounds and landscapes, and those things involve nature and being good at drawing nature. And a big thing about drawing things that look like they could be real from nature is that it's not perfect. You have to kind of go with the flow, and it almost, well, 9 times out of 10 it comes out better when you are drawing it in more of a loose way, instead of trying to have everything be symmetrical, for example. Like, a tree doesn't look completely symmetrical, you know, in the wild. So why would it look completely symmetrical in your artwork? And that's something that is a struggle for me because I am a perfectionist and I want things to look quote unquote perfect. But I've given up on that a bit now, and now I tell myself, you know, it does look better when you're loose. It doesn't have to be perfect. You know, trying to achieve perfection is actually limiting instead of helping. And then you have more fun, just letting go and having fun with it.
marching along, singing a song just like they do. If the clouds were singing a song, I'd sing along, wouldn't you too, if you just knew.
And that was a Panic at the Disco song. Oh man, I forgot the name of it. Darn. Oh well, I'll put it in the text on the screen when I look it up after doing the voiceover. I love Panic at the Disco. I used to listen to them. Gosh, I think I started listening to them in middle school. And I loved Fever You Can't Sweat Out, and then the album right after that, that again I cannot think of the name of, but again I'll put it in the text. Those are my favorite albums of them. And then, you know, when Brendon Urie went off and was still quote-unquote Panic at the Disco, but basically doing his solo thing, I love all of his work as well. The funny thing is, my son now is also obsessed with music like that and emo music. I've turned my child into an emo kid. Oh, I made that one pedal way too big, and I fix it, or I try to fix it. I basically just cut it in half later on because it sticks out, and it kept sticking out to me. It was like I forgot I was doing a rose and I tried to do like a, you know, daisy pedal or something, but that's okay. I fix it. You can't even notice it now. After, like, looking up at it, hanging up on the wall, it looks fine now. It was hard to do these bits that go off the canvas because you have to plan, and as you see, like, all of the pedals overlap. So you have to plan those things a little bit, you know, or you're gonna run into it looking strange. So those bits always gave me a little bit of a hard time, but I think for the most part I made them work. I've drawn so many roses at this point that I can manage to make it look convincible. And I only got 2 more roses to go, or I guess 1.5. I have been struggling thinking of things to talk about, but that's okay. This video is mostly me outlining petals, so I wish I could add more singing parts, but I'm a little nervous about YouTube and their copyright stuff. Like, I'm worried already. I kept all the singing under like 20, no, I kept it under 30 seconds because I'm hoping that'll be fine. Oh man. And this is the last of the roses. This big old purple one. Let me know if you guys would want to see more of these flower paintings, because I could make more of these. I've been wanting to make more flower paintings and trying different kinds of flowers. Like, I also love making sunflowers, and I haven't painted any sunflowers. So that would be a really nice one to make maybe a field of sunflowers or something like that. Get some nice close-up shots of doing the petal work here. I like doing these close-up shots. I really do think this big purple one might be my favorite, but maybe it's the little one on the side there to the right, that little purple one. Oh, I also think it's funny, I didn't notice it until I was varnishing, but the purple kind of make Mickey ears did not mean for the purple to turn out so Mickey-like, but I guess that's what I get for living so close to Disney. I hope you guys like this one just as much as I do. And just wait until it's varnished. It makes it, oh, that blue pops so much, everything pops so much more. Of course, gotta sign it with my initials. Finished piece there, so nice. Waving by. Here's Simon and Chucky just hanging out. Little babies like they always are. Now we are varnishing and gotta have my compression socks on. It's a bad POTS day, unfortunately. And this painting right here used up the last of my varnish because it was so big, but look at how nice that looks with the varnish. All of those colors pop so much, and I am such a fan of blue, purple, and pink together. I love that combination so much. Here we go, we're done for today. I know this was a long video, so thanks for sticking it out with me. I hope you enjoy it, and you know, come hang out with me again next week. Bye!